Hello students, we are starting the new chapter, that is body fluids and circulation. So this chapter basically includes the body fluids. There are two types of the body fluids, that is blood and the lymph. So we will study the blood in detail, the composition of the blood, and second fluid is the lymph, and then we will study the circulation, how the blood is circulated, how the lymph is circulated in our body, what is the mechanism of the circulation, then the structure of the heart, then the blood vessels, that is artery, veins and capillaries, and then some disorders which are related with the circulatory system. So we are starting the vascular connective tissue. So that body fluids, that is the blood and lymph, are actually the connective tissue. These are the type of the connective tissues because the blood and lymph is present all over the body. So it connects to the different organs with the blood and the lymph. That is why these are called as the connective tissue. So these are called as vascular connective tissue because the blood flow through the vessels. So that is vascular, means the vessels. So there are two types of the vascular connective tissues in our body. So we can call it as a VCT, means vascular connective tissue. Vascular connective tissue, that is blood and lymph. So first one is the blood, and then we will see the next, that is the lymph. Basic concepts about the blood is the study of blood. The study of blood is called as the hematology. Hemos means blood, logos means study. So the study of blood is called as hematology. Then there is another term, that is hematopoiesis. Hematopoiesis. Hemat means the blood, poiesis means the formation. So the process of formation of blood is called as hematopoiesis. Simple. The process of formation of blood is called as hematopoiesis. Hematos means the blood and poiesis meaning the formation. So that's why word is hematopoiesis. So this hematopoiesis process occurs in the bone marrow, inside the bone, that is the bone marrow. Now there are some characteristics of the blood. So the color, you know that the color of the blood is the red. Then the pH of blood is 7.4, so it is a slightly alkaline in nature. Remember this, that is the pH. Okay students, 7.4, so it is a slightly alkaline in nature. Then by weight means how many percentage this blood occupies. So there are 7 to 8% of body weight. Okay. Then the volume, 5 to 6 liter blood is present into the male, normal healthy person, and 4 to 5 liter into the female. So female have less blood volume than the male. So remember this value, 5 to 6 liter in the male, normal healthy, and 4 to 5 liter into the female, that is normal healthy female. Now these are the some characteristics. Now the composition of blood, which are the components are present into the blood. So basically there are two components of the blood, that is the plasma and the blood corpuscles, which are called as the blood cells. The plasma is 55% and the blood corpuscles, that is the cell, that is blood cells, are 45%. The plasma is the liquid part, that is the matrix part of the blood, and blood corpuscles, that is the cells, these are the solid part of the blood. And there are three types of the cells are present into our blood. The three types of the cells, that is RBC, WBC and platelets. RBC means red blood corpuscles or red blood cell. WBC means white blood cells or white blood corpuscles. And third one is the platelets. So these are the three types of the cells which are present in our blood. So that is two composition, that is plasma and blood cells. Blood cells are of three types, that is RBC, WBC and platelets. Next we will see the plasma. So this plasma is actually a matrix of the blood. It forms the matrix of blood. The color of plasma, it is a pale yellow in color, means light yellow color. Okay students, the color is due to the presence of the urobilinogen. What is this urobilinogen? Urobilinogen is a form of bilirubin, that is the bile pigment. And due to presence of this urobilinogen, which have the yellow color, this plasma is a pale yellowish in color. Next, the composition of plasma. What are present into the plasma? What are the components? So basic component of plasma is the liquid part, so that's why basic component is a water. So there is 90 to 92% is water of the total plasma, that is 55%. Then the solid part, that is 8 to 10%, and then it includes some electrolytes, that is the sodium, potassium, chlorides. Then main part, that is the solid part, is the proteins. Total 8 to 10% is solid, out of which 6 to 7% is the protein. So important composition is the water, that is 90 to 92%, and then second one is the protein, that is 6 to 7%. And these proteins which are present into the plasma are called as the plasma proteins, and these proteins perform the different functions, various functions, and these functions are very important, students. So the proteins, we will see the proteins, which type of the proteins are present into the plasma. So the proteins are 6 to 7% maximum. Then there are different types of the proteins. So first one is the albumin protein. Albumin is a plasma protein which is 4% of total proteins. Okay? Which is produced by, this albumin is produced and synthesized by the liver. Then this albumin is the smallest plasma protein, and the function of this albumin is to maintain the osmotic pressure of the plasma or the blood. So it maintains the osmotic pressure, that is 28 to 30 mm of Hg, that is the osmotic pressure of the blood. So that is albumin. Important function is maintain osmotic pressure. Then next one is the globulin. The globulin is 2 to 2.5%, and the ratio of albumin is to globulin is given, that is 2:1. So albumin is twice than the globulin into the plasma. Now again this globulin is produced and secreted by the liver and the lymphoid organs. Means there are two sources, that is liver and the lymphoid organs. Lymphoid organs means the lymph. We will see the lymphoid organs. Then the function of globulin is it transport or carry the substances in the body. So transportation. Then this globulin destroy the bacteria, virus and the toxic substances in the body. In blood there are three types of globulins are present. So students, there are the three types, that is alpha globulin, beta globulin and gamma globulin. So alpha globulin is produced by the liver, and the example of alpha globulin is the ceruloplasmin. The example of alpha globulin is the ceruloplasmin. The function of this ceruloplasmin is, it is a copper carrying protein. We have seen the function, transportation of the substances. So this alpha globulin carries the copper, so that is why it is a copper carrying protein, that is the ceruloplasmin. It is the example of alpha globulin. Then the beta globulin, the beta globulin is produced by the liver. Same, that is alpha and beta globulin are produced by the liver. The example of beta globulin is the transferrin. This transferrin is a iron carrying protein. It is iron carrying, Fe carrying protein. Then the gamma globulin. These gamma globulin are produced by the lymphoid organs. Lymphoid tissues are present in our body, lymph nodes. So these lymphoid organs produces this gamma globulin. It is present in the form of antibodies. The gamma globulins are present in the form of antibodies. These antibodies kills the bacteria, viruses and the toxic substances. These antibodies are also called as immunoglobulins. Okay? Because they provide a immunity to our body, that is why immunoglobulin, because these are the globulin. So immunoglobulin, the short form is Ig, and there are total 5 types of the immunoglobulins are present in our blood. That is IgA, immunoglobulin A, IgD, IgM, IgE and IgG. Okay? IgA, IgD, IgM, IgE and IgG. So immunoglobulin A, immunoglobulin D, immunoglobulin M, immunoglobulin E and immunoglobulin G. These are the 5 types of the immunoglobulins. So here student, we completed the globulin protein. Now the third protein is present into the plasma is the prothrombin. It is a 0.3% and this is again produced by the liver. Then next one is the fibrinogen protein, which is again 0.3% and produced by the liver. This fibrinogen is very important because this fibrinogen help in the clotting process, in our body. When we will see the clotting, blood coagulation, at that time we will see the fibrinogen. Okay students, so here we completed the plasma, okay, constituents and the composition of the plasma. Now our next topic is the blood corpuscles, which are the 45%. Blood corpuscles, or we can call it as a blood cells. So there are basically 3 types of the cells, that is RBC, WBC and the platelets. So we will see the first type, that is the RBC, that it means that red blood cell or red blood corpuscles. Another name for RBC is the erythrocytes. Now what is the meaning of erythrocyte? Erythros means red. Erythros means red and cytes means the cytos means cell. So red cells, so that is why the word is erythrocytes, means red cell, that is red blood cell. Now the some characteristics of the RBC or the some information about the RBC. The mammalian RBCs, mammalian RBC means the mammals, you know that the mammals, we have studied the kingdom Animalia. So mammals, how the mammalian RBC is a circular, biconcave and non-nucleated. Now due to the biconcavity, there is an increased surface area. Due to the biconcavity, the surface of the RBC is increased. So that is why it is a biconcave. And it is a non-nucleated, means there is a no nucleus. But when the RBCs are immature, they are in that immature stage, the nucleus is present. But when the RBC gets mature, the nucleus disappears. So mature RBC does not have the nucleus, that is mammalian RBC. Now why the nucleus is absent? Because to accommodate the maximum amount of hemoglobin, because this hemoglobin carries the oxygen. So maximum space should be provided to this oxygen carrying pigment, that is the hemoglobin, which is present inside the RBC. So that is why the nucleus is absent. Then the exception is that camel. The camel have the nucleated RBC. So student, this is the important point that you have to remember, that is the exception. Camel is it is a mammal, but it shows a nucleated RBC. Next one, the mitochondria and Golgi body is also absent into the RBC. And due to absence of this mitochondria, the RBC performs the anaerobic respiration. Because for the aerobic respiration, we requires, or the cell requires the mitochondria. But the mitochondria is absent into the RBC, that's why it performs the anaerobic respiration. Next point is antigen of blood group is present on the surface of RBC. You heard about the blood groups, that is blood group A, B, O. Okay? So these blood group are present or detected by the presence of antigens, which are present on the surface of RBC. In RBC, there is a red colored respiratory pigment is present, that is the hemoglobin. So hemoglobin is a respiratory pigment. It means that it carries the oxygen. We have seen the hemoglobin carries the oxygen into the respiration chapter. Okay, that is the previous chapter. So that hemoglobin is present into the RBC, which carries the oxygen, and that's why it is a non-nucleated. In each RBC, there is a 26.5 crore molecules of hemoglobin is present. 26.5 crore. So, n number of the hemoglobin molecules are present in a small RBC. So the diameter, again the diameter of RBC is, student, 7 micron meter. 7 micron meter is the diameter of the RBC. The molecular weight of the hemoglobin is given, that is 67,200 Dalton, in a Dalton. Then the Hb, that is hemoglobin which is present into the RBC, it constitutes 36% of total weight of the RBC. So it contributes 36% of the total weight of the RBC. So this is the general information about the RBC. Then now next we will see the hemoglobin.